Hi, I'm Sandy Zuniga, the founder of Colorado Springs Town Tidings. Be in the know, on the go for all things Colorado Springs, delivered right to your inbox. Today, in our local business spotlight, I am thrilled to welcome Ellen MacAlester from A Nurse Aide School. With locations in both Colorado Springs and recently expanded to Pueblo, this school is addressing our community's critical healthcare staffing needs by offering a comprehensive 1 month certified nursing assistant training program. Ellen brings over 45 years of nursing experience to her role as primary instructor, guiding students from classroom learning through hands on patient care. As our population ages and more families are facing caregiving challenges, particularly with an increase in many conditions such as dementia, the CNAs trained at this school are becoming an essential part of our local healthcare ecosystem. So let's dive into how this program is making a difference right here in Southern Colorado. Welcome, Ellen.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation.
So, because you are such an integral part of A plus
Nursing
nursing
school.
school, yes,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, as you said early on, I've got more than 45 years of nursing experience. Started as a candy striper way back in the day when they actually still did that. And yes, I did wear the uniform, the little pinafore, red and white stripes, the skirt, and the white shoes. Oh, I had everything. And so that I was in high school when I did that. Great experience and really opened my eyes to what rolled into a very wonderful career. From there, I became well, back then they didn't certify nursing assistants. The bottom line is you went to nursing school and your instructor said to you, go make that bed. Then she looked at it, she said, okay, go pass that water. Okay, you're a nursing assistant, get moving, help these
Oh,
people.
wow.
That literally is was the indoctrination we got. So I was in nursing school. I went to nursing school at LACUSC Medical Center. So I was in Los Angeles at the time that I did that. I started in New York. We
Okay.
moved to LA. So I do back to back, coast to coast, and I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Okay.
And while I was there, I became an LPN. I then became an RN. I became a critical care RN, and you just keep going.
Right.
Okay. While I was there, I did a lot of home health. And so I began to see early on how important, how critical to the team the nursing assistant was. From day one, I understood that mission. And so early on in my career, I took from others. They trained me, they showed me, they got me going. Now I'm at a point in my career, it's my time to turn around and help others. Coming to Colorado 5 years ago, I noticed that our healthcare systems out here are struggling. We don't have enough nurses, we don't have enough doctors, but
How
we
true that
sure have
is.
enough patients. Okay.
Yep.
And so when I came to Colorado, I first worked at another school that closed down because of dear old Mr. COVID. Yeah, he was wonderful. Um, but then I ended up joining up with the A Plus Nurse Aide School and I became the primary instructor. So, as Sandy, as you did identify, I am the face of the A Plus Nurse Aide School. It's something I'm so passionate about. I absolutely love it. Okay. Um, the other thing is, I do live in the Monument, Colorado Springs area. And so you might even see my car. I've got a very unique, bright baby blue Toyota RAV4 with a sign on the side of both sides of my car. And if you look at me while I'm driving, I'm going to wave at you, okay? Because that's how you make friends. And so that's so important, that interpersonal skills. So, yes, with nursing, I'm a mom, a wife, grandma. I've been a cub master. I've worked in the special needs community for over 30 years.
Wow.
So, people have been my passion.
Sounds like it. We definitely need more of
Mhm.
you. out there, and that's part of what the school is and why you're the face of it, I assume.
Oh yeah,
And with
that's what my goal is.
yes, touching lives through helping others, and you're also a nurse yourself. It's not, you're not just teaching, you have hands-on still
I still
after
see
45
patients
years.
every day. I see them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just amazing. So,
Mm-hmm.
with this 45 years in nursing
Mm-hmm.
and having the school, I'm wondering what's the most critical skill gap you've seen in home health care or even in nursing in general that your
Mm-hmm.
CNA program specifically addresses for families caring for loved ones?
Well, so I have the golden opportunity to train people from all walks of life as young as 17. And I think my oldest student recently was 72.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here in Colorado, you know, I've worked in 5 different states. Okay. As I said, I came from New York, went to LA, went out to Maryland. And of course, when you live in Maryland, you got that whole Virginia, West Virginia,
Yep.
Washington, D.C., that whole arena that I worked in. Okay. And I was in Baltimore and LA. So, and then I came out here. And so the thing that I noticed is that out here in Colorado, you have such wonderful programs for families taking care of the family. See, a lot of the other states in my past didn't have this option.
Oh, wow.
So the people that I'm training to be CNAs, some of them are young people. They're coming out of high school. They want to become a nurse, or they want to become a therapist, or they want to become a doctor. So they take my program because it's quick. Okay. And because they can start making a little bit better money while they're continuing their education. But there's a good portion of the students that come to me, both in Colorado Springs and Pueblo, that maybe they have a disabled child or maybe an elderly parent that needs care. You know, when I started, if you were old and sick, you got sent to a nursing home.
Right.
That's not our goal anymore. Our goal is let's keep mom and dad home. Let's keep grandma and grandpa at home. And let's learn how to take care of them safely so that they get the best care, but also so your caregiver doesn't get hurt. Because injuries among nurses and nurses' aides, when I first started, frequent. I'm
Right.
trying to change that. I'm trying to change them and try to teach them so that, you know what, they can do everything they need to do with the equipment they need, with the timelines they did. And in the state of Colorado, there are programs where they can get paid so that it's not a choice between do I take care of mom or do I have a job?
Right. Right. And I know not only is it the goal to kind of keep the family together and, not going to a home,
Mhm.
it's extremely expensive to
Oh,
put anybody in a home, and they
mhm,
may or may not have better care there, or it may be easier, but
mhm,
people can't afford it. And so
mhm,
it becomes they move in, say it's an elderly, or their
mhm,
parent or something, they move in, and
mhm,
now depending on what their illness is, whether they need constant care and watching, or if
mhm,
they just need to make sure somebody's in the house with them. But
mhm.
it's also, the compassion and how we handle when a medical issue happens or a lifestyle medical issue happens.
Correct.
And then also, what do we do? Because a lot of people, then if it's someone who needs constant care,
Mhm.
then they can't have their job outside of the home.
Correct.
And they also need help because when you're a caregiver, you also get burnt out, and especially
Yeah.
if that is not your profession.
Right. And and the thing is, some of the CNAs will go work in the acute care scenes, your hospitals. Some of them will go to rehab. Some of them will go to skilled nursing. Some will go work in assisted living. There's see, that's the nice thing about being a CNA. I tell my students, the CNA door is the door to 1,000 more.
Okay.
Because once you have that golden ticket in your hand, the only limit that's on you is what you put on you. Okay.
Okay.
There are opportunities everywhere. How many times have you gone to make an appointment with your doctor and you're sick right now and they say, well, we can see you in a month from now.
Right.
That's
Yep.
the reality right now.
Yes.
Okay. So when I train people to be CNAs, I will never train them to just be a CNA. And that my students all know that's not a good term with me.
Okay.
I train you to be the face piece of the healthcare scene because most patients could care less about the RN or the LPN. You know who they want to see? They want to see the nursing assistant. Why? Because you've put hands on them, you've shown them the love, you have listened to their stories. That's what we need. We need people who want to hear people, who want to help. And
Right.
my program is uniquely structured that, so I have a background in geriatric nursing. I also have a background in pediatric nursing.
Oh
I've
wow.
worked
You
for
go with
acute
that
care
full
hospital.
spectrum.
I really have. I've worked ICU. I've worked ER. I've worked med surge. I've worked home health. I've gone to research. I've had a beautiful, beautiful career. So when, let's say you, Sandy, you come to me and you say, I want to be a CNA. Well, in the time that I'm training you, I'm watching you. And come graduation, I'm going to say something to you. And I'm going to say something like, Sandy, I noticed you're a natural born leader. You're going to take this CNA, you're going to become the lead CNA wherever you go work. And then after you've done that for a year or two, you're going to continue on, whether it's going into more nursing or you're going into radiology or you're going, the future is all yours. And I recently was told by a former graduate of mine that she just recently was accepted to pre-med
Oh
and
wow.
she is going to be a physician. I was so
Wow.
excited because when she came into my classroom, the first thing she said to me is, well, I don't know if I'm smart enough to do this because, well, I was never a real good student. And I said, okay, leave those words at the door. That doesn't live in my classroom.
I love it.
Okay. So getting that phone call from her, you can imagine I'm riding a cloud on it.
Yes, you're beaming. So not only are you cultivating the healthcare aspect of it, but you are also cultivating the person that they are that maybe they didn't know they were. It seems like you
Mhm.
can spot the different things in these people, and sometimes we just need somebody to see us and to
Mhm.
see something in us that we don't,
Mhm.
and we can make a huge difference in our community, in the world, because Ellen saw something in me.
Right. And it's funny because, I've got students from 4 or 5 years ago. Every now and then I get a phone call. I got one this morning and she calls me mama. And because she said I reminded of her grandma. Okay, I'll take that.
Right.
But they just needed someone to believe in them. And this CNA program believes in its students. And they actually get my personal cell number to reach me because if we're going to see you through it, you got to be able to find me,
Right.
not leave a voice message and not hear from me from a week. I don't believe in that.
Right. Yeah, when they need you, they probably know that, yes, you can call and say hi, that's perfectly fine, but
Mm-hmm.
if you need me, use this, because when that call comes in, I know that you're having an issue, you have a
Mm-hmm.
question, something, and I'm going to answer it if I can. And if I can't, I will answer it as soon as possible. I'll call you back.
Correct. Correct. And they all the students know that. And, and it, I feel like I'm hoping that they're getting as much out of it as I get. I mean, I tell them they energize me every time I'm in class. They really do.
Yeah. And I think that's a little bit different than, and I don't know because I haven't been in any of the programs, but
Mm-hmm.
healthcare workers in general, I believe, are heart centered. I mean, they're not getting into
Mm-hmm.
it for, to become rich. I don't care what it is.
Well, you
I
can
mean,
try, you can make money, but do
yeah,
you want to spend 8 hours being miserable just for a paycheck?
right,
That's one of the things I ask the students. When you go look for a job, use your five senses. What does the place look like? Are you hearing the call bells not getting answered? What does it smell like? When you walk in the door, does it smell pleasant like flowers or something else? Okay. What are people talking to each other? How are they being? Are the team members, do they like each other? You know, you've got to love what you're doing and you got to love where you are. And remember, I told all my CNAs, you are the golden nugget everybody wants.
Right. And if being a CNA, it is, you can make it what you want to,
Mhm.
but the general CNA um, certification, all that, that is both physical work and
Oh, yes,
emotional. So,
absolutely.
so this isn't something, again, you can be a CNA and step back from some of the physical work. I don't know how that 75-year-old, if she was very physical and could do things, maybe she was very spry. But if there were certain limitations, that doesn't mean you can't take the program and you can't be a CNA. It just means you've got to go ahead and prioritize, or, figure out.
Well, the program does have requirements, as does the state. You have to be able to pick up, push, pull at least 50 pounds. You need to be able to bend down and get back up. I mean, so there are some requirements. Okay. But as I said, the seniors that I've had coming back, they're sometimes they're surpassing the younger ones. So there are some people that know this will not be the path for them. And if you came to me and you said, "Hey, Ellen, I'd like to talk about becoming a CNA," we have dialogue way before I ever hand you that application. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to give you false hope on something, but maybe I can give you some other ideas of other things to look at.
Right.
But the person that I was telling you in their 70s actually was becoming a CNA for a grandchild.
Right. That's what I
Grandchild
was
had
looking at.
autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandchild had autism. And so she was going to have this child anyway. And she was having to do tube feedings and she was having to do a lot of things. So for her, she was going to be taking care of this child anyway. But she needed to know how to do it and how to do it safely for both of them.
Right. And that's kind of what I was thinking is there are different paths to this, and the certification is a certification, and your reason why could be different. And I didn't want to, I mean, obviously you're going to talk to them and see if it's right for them. It are a bunch of people who want to go into the healthcare industry. There are a bunch of people who their life changed because of a family member in some way, or
Mm-hmm.
a loved one in some way. And exactly what you said, so she had to meet the minimum requirements, but
Correct.
her long-term goal wasn't to use that in a setting where she was going to have to be lifting and pulling. I mean, with the grandchild,
Right.
obviously, depending on how disabled.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want people to think, oh, I can't do it, because yes, you have to meet the minimum requirement for this
Mm-hmm.
certification, but that doesn't mean that's the life you're having afterwards. If you want to be a home health aide, although you can do that without any certification, you can get a,
Actually,
um,
for home health aide, you should be CNA as well.
okay,
And the thing is, the certification that you get, whether you go to my program or any other program, that is the key, like I said, to 1,000 doors. You can take that CNA, you can apply to DME, durable medical equipment. You can apply to acute care hospitals. You can use that in any place. And that's why the baseline of the CNA program, you have to be able to meet that criteria. I don't very often have to turn people away. I think let's see, I've got this program open 4.5 years now. And I think I've only ever really turned one person away. And that was because she was actually losing her vision. And while it wasn't a discriminatory thing, it was a reality. She needed to get that vision fixed.
right.
And then if she wanted, she could come back. I've not heard from her that she wanted to come back, but luckily she did get some corrective surgery. So we'll see what's going to happen with that person.
Okay, yeah. And I was just thinking about even my own experience. My mom had, she just passed away in May, but she was bedridden
Mm-hmm.
for a couple years. And
Mm-hmm.
it was back in New York, and I had to go ahead and cover for my dad for a couple weeks. So I
Mhm.
went ahead and signed up under his home health aid
Mhm.
company, just so I
Right.
could at least cover my expenses to get out there and
Correct.
be there. And for that, I just needed a shot and yeah, the TB, make sure I didn't
Yeah,
have
get a TB
tuberculosis.
test. Right. Mhm.
But again, this wasn't, I wasn't going to be doing it for anybody else. I just was trying to get paid to cover,
Care.
that part.
Mhm.
So if I was going to do it long term and stuff, I would definitely, consider the program, like you
Mhm.
said, because it opens up more doors.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah. And with the economy and, things in general, not to get political at all, but
Mhm.
the more options we have,
The
the,
better.
yeah, the better. And especially with, um, the healthcare in general and on both
Mhm.
sides. So
Yeah.
being a healthcare provider and also needing a healthcare provider.
Correct. And quite honestly, the one thing that is nice, I mean, like I said, I've been in this business for a very long time. And IAAI, beautiful. But I'll tell you what, when you need help getting to the bathroom, good luck with AI. You
Right,
need
right,
the
yeah.
hand. These are seniors. They have a story to tell before they die. Do you
Right,
want to tell a robot or a computer your story, or do you want a young thing sitting there and listening and hanging on to every word you say? You see, the CNA brings gifts above and beyond giving someone a bath, above and beyond bringing them their food tray. They become the daughters, the sons, the grandchildren of these people. And their value in the interpersonal skills, there's no paycheck for that. There just isn't. And I can tell you in all the times that because I take my students to a couple of different facilities, and the look on the patient's face when a student's been in there for like 5, 10 minutes, I know when it's been a good reaction because the face of the senior is relaxed, the smile is genuine, and the relationship. When they find out that I have to pull the student away, no, 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 don't take her. I want to keep her.
right.
You can't put a paycheck on that. And you know what? The way the economy is going, you're right. Healthcare is always going to be a need. You will always have a job. And that's what I tell my students. You may not keep this job today, but please understand if this door closes, there's 3 windows. Go look.
Right, right. I love that. So then your students complete 16 hours of direct hands-on patient care before
Mhm.
graduation.
Correct.
And so they have some training,
Real life.
book work. Did you say?
Well, so first they start out with they come in and meet me for orientation. We go over rules, regulations, what make sure the supplies they have. And our program is pretty. I supply them with everything except a watch. They have to come with a watch with a second hand. That's a $10 Walmart thing, and I have no profit there. But okay, I tell them don't buy the bling. You're not going to want it. So they're going to come with that. Then I'm going to put them on a video program and they're going to watch the videos they have 2 weeks to watch about 40, 50 hours of viewing. It's like watching a sitcom. But I
Okay.
always tell them, be careful. I'm the administrator on the back end. I know when you opened your computer, I know when you closed your computer, and I know when you did some actual work. So I'm
So
always watching it. And
Big
the reason
Mama's watching.
that's right. Big Mama's always watching. But see, the reason I'm doing that is I want to make sure if there's a problem, like if I see, Sandy, you got on the program and you're in chapter 1 and you've spent 10 hours,
Right,
okay, either the program's not working, you're not understanding it, or you're not even trying. So that's when I call them and go, okay, Sandy, what's going on with the video, sweetheart? You opened the program at 9 o'clock yesterday evening. It's still open, but I have not seen anything happen because I can tell where you are.
right,
The purpose of that is to give them a little bit of ownership and give them a little bit of a hey, there's somebody behind you kicking you on this. You got to get it done.
right.
After that's done, then they're going to come into the classroom for 1 full week. And that's where you get about 32 and a half hours where I am teaching you hands on the 23 skills that you need to function as a CNA as well as to pass your state exam. And I'll get to that in a minute because that's a very big thing for everybody. Okay. During that time, each student will act as a student, a patient, and I make them act as an evaluator.
Oh,
Because the best way to learn something, Sandy, is go teach it.
right.
So you see it happening, you participate in it, and then you judge someone else. But they support. They're allowed only to be giving critiques, no criticisms in my classroom.
Okay. I
So
love
after that's done, the next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is going to be the final skills exam. That's how fast this program is. And that's where, much like a state exam, they get a random 5 out of the 23 skills that I taught them, and they have to perform these 5 in 30 minutes. Now, I've timed every single test, so I know for a fact that it is a possibility. Okay. But I give them those 3 opportunities because the first time when they get into it, the nice teacher goes away, the evil twin
it.
comes in.
Okay.
And we're going to do this test now.
Right.
It scares them, it rattles them. But see, Sandy, I do that on purpose. Have you ever taken a test? You knew the material, but the minute you walked in, you're like, oh my God, I don't know this. And you actually did.
Every time.
Right. Our students do the same thing. So I use the first test round for that purpose. Shake out your nerves, lose the nuts and bolts on the floor. Go ahead. That's okay. And then we talk about it. You tell me what went wrong. And then we do the second test. Most of the people will pass the second. On a rare occasion, they need the third. Okay. But what's happened? They've actually experienced what the state exam might look like.
Wow.
So that, and I always tell them, don't worry about the state examiner. Get past this.
Right.
Okay. This is the serious one. That's what you got to get past. And by doing that, that does help build their confidence. Like, oh my God, I did so bad the first day. Wait a minute. I knocked it out of the park the second time. Then after those
Smart.
3 days, yeah. I mean, I know how I am. You know, I can work clinically. I can run rings around you. Give me a book test. Híjole. Okay. It's a little scary. But now after that, then they do a Thursday morning shift and then a Friday afternoon shift because not everybody's meant to be morning shift. Not everybody's meant to be afternoons. So this way they have they have the opportunity to see what does it look like if I'm going to be a morning CNA and what are the duties that are going to be expected of me versus if I do the 2 to 10 shift, or 2 to 12 shift or whatever, what's going to be expected of me. And
Right.
is that, because everybody's got a different biorhythm
Yep.
and you want to make your job work with your biorhythm.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a night owl, I have to
There
admit.
you go. I was until I met my husband. He flipped that one upside down for me. I always worked night shift before I met him. Now it's all days. So after all that's done, they come back and you know what? We celebrate. We make a graduation because they've earned it. And you know what? You'd be amazed how many students come to me. They didn't get a high school graduation. They didn't get a college graduation. This is their first graduation ceremony. So we make it.
Wow.
We have the coffee, the cake, or whatever they want to do. And then after that, I get them on the computer with me and I help them register for their state exams. And I do that for 2 reasons. One is I want to make sure they do it correctly the first time. I don't want them to have to come back and try it again and again. The
Right.
second thing is, so I'm an instructor, but I'm also an evaluator. I cannot evaluate my own students. So I need to make sure I'm not where you're going to go test.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Wow.
then they call me back and they say, Miss Ellen, here's my certificate. And I'm like, okay, now get on and get to work.
Okay, little birdie fly.
That's right. Fly, baby, fly.
Wow. I don't think I've ever heard of a program that is so personal where the personal touches you have, they really matter. And that is so heartwarming to me because in a world that may feel cold and distant, especially
Mhm.
with technology, you put the personal back into the
Mhm.
everyday, the interactions, and I just love that. I mean, it's
Thank
just
you.
beautiful.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing that part.
I get so much back from them. I mean, it's a two-way street. It really is. And if you ever have the opportunity to come visit us, you're welcome to.
Oh,
It's a great feeling.
I want to come and celebrate everybody. I'll give everybody
Oh,
hugs.
okay, next graduation, you're on.
I'll be the hugging machine. I just don't think there's enough of those in the world. So,
No, there isn't. Mhm.
so then what is the class size in general?
So I'm capped at 10 students. And that's a safety thing, that's a regulation thing. And it's good because this way everybody can get that one-on-one with me. If it's a class that they're like, so in the Colorado Springs classroom, it's a huge classroom. And so having 10, I've got two beds and they could be going at the same time. So it really works very, very well. My Pueblo one is my more recent open. And so the classroom is smaller. So if I get 10, I typically will put five of them and do a morning session and five of them, and I'll do an afternoon session. So
Okay.
that this way they still get that personal touch and they get that, because I tell them, I can teach you anything you need to know. But if you don't practice it, it's useless. So
Right.
by breaking it up, it gives them a chance to be able to come in. And when they're finished, between the time they graduate and the time they take the state board, they are required, and I can't mandate it, but I require them, you need to be back in here practicing at least once a week until you show me that beautiful certificate. Because otherwise, what happens is, life doesn't stop just because you went to school.
Right.
Life continues. And when you graduate, when you're not having to attend the class, you get to caught back up in life.
Right.
So if you pre-program in a day or two to come into the classroom and you get your classmates to come with you, because I don't need to be there for that. You've
Right.
got, you've been a patient, you've been a CNA, and now you've been an evaluator. You can all stay there and do it. You
Right.
don't need the instructor there.
Right. Do you have a like graduate kind of way that they can connect with each other and then kind of like
Believe it or not,
yeah.
a couple of years ago, one of the classes started it, and it seems like all these people are the very technology. So yeah, they get on their phones and they make these chat groups. Sometimes I'm in them, sometimes I'm not, and it's okay.
Right.
And they communicate with each other, because I tell them there's no I in team. And if
Right.
you end up working someplace where there is an I, leave, because that's not a healthy place to work. And remember, this is the beginning of a career.
Right.
Choose wisely.
Right. And what do you usually see? You named a whole different paths that they can go to once they get their certification. What is the one or two types of places or things that they do that you see the most of? I mean, most of them probably won't go to the critical wound care or something, or something like that. Is there a um, more go gravitate to one
Well,
aspect or
so I've got two major populations. One is the ones that become parent CNAs. That's a very, very definite set. They're coming in here to train because their child is disabled or their parent, and that's going to be a family CNA scenario. Okay. The other ones, it's a mix of that they're going to go on to college to become an RN. And so this way, after my program, once they get their certificate, whenever they work, they can now work for a higher rate, but also they can start networking in the field they want to eventually work. That's how the young lady
oh
that wrote to me about being pre-med, that's
yeah,
exactly what she did.
right,
A lot of them will start in the local skilled nursing facilities. And it's funny because the facilities where I take the students, oh my goodness, they want to hire my students right away.
right,
And just about 3 weeks ago, I heard from somebody, oh, just tell them on the application, put down I'm an A+ student.
right,
And they hired
right.
someone right away. So they do love our students. The thing that I tell the facilities when I bring my students there is my students are working students. They're not visitors.
Right,
I don't want them becoming wallflowers. If a call bell rings, they need to get over there and get it. If somebody fell, they need to be there helping you. If someone needs their tray brought to them or need to be fed, they need to get on it. All of these skills I've taught them in the classroom.
Right.
And I'm there the entire, so I always tease them. I'm like, okay, you guys each get to stay on a wing or on a floor. I'm all over the building for the whole 9 hours we're there doing this. I'm constantly running around. My butt hardly hits the chair because I'm
Right.
constantly checking on everybody. But
Right.
also, because I'm a working nurse, if a call bell and I see everybody's busy, I'm going to go get that call bell. You gotta walk the walk as well as talk the talk, and that's what my students see with me. And I'm hoping that that's how, once they learn that, that they will continue that so that other generations. Because I always tease them. My running joke with everybody is, I'm going to retire in 3 years. Who's replacing me? In nursing, you
Right.
can't retire if you don't replace. You say, are you going to help me, Sandy? Are you going to replace me? Somebody got to.
You know what? There is no replacing Ellen from what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Sorry. You're one of
you'd
a
be
kind, my
amazed.
dear.
So, and they enjoy that when I tell them that, and I actually had one come back. She'd been a CNA for about 3 years. And she called me up and she's, telling, you going to be in the office? And I said, yeah. She goes, I got to show you something. She came back. She got promoted on her job. When that particular facility hires CNAs, they have to go through her class, which mimics what I taught her.
Oh,
And she
wow.
was so proud of herself. She says, I'm not an RN. She says, but even if they come with their CNA, they have to do it the Ellen way. And I said, wait, it's not the Ellen way. That's just the way it has to be.
Right. You set the standard high there, the bar high.
Absolutely, as we always should. In any profession, you never want to start at the bargain basement. You always want to go for the gold ring.
Right.
It's there. Go get it.
Right. Well, and when you're nurtured to do that, then it's easier to do that. And that's what sounds like you do. And again, I think that's different from any other place, and why A plus is what, if you want to get into this profession, definitely should be one of the first places you look.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then go
You
ahead and
never
compare.
know.
Feel
Yeah.
free, and then come back.
Absolutely.
So just with the condensed program,
Mhm.
is it typical for 1 month for CNA?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no, no. Most of the programs in the area are longer.
Mhm.
Some of them, everything is video that you watch at home. Um, there's a time and a place for that. Some of them you go once a week, so each program is different.
Okay.
Like I said, mine is probably amongst the most condensed. There's a couple of other ones like that.
Okay.
um, you have to find a program that's going to fit your schedule and what you can do, and you have to be realistic about it.
Right.
Because if you have to take care of this child at home and you can't afford to spend the kind of time, because it's like one whole week with me, the next whole week with testing and patients. So you got to find a program that's going to work for you. And the idea again is, guys, we're just trying to get you into the programs, become a CNA,
Right.
you know. But
Right.
I also brag a little bit here. We enjoy some of the highest passing rates with the state for our
Right.
school.
Right. Well, I don't see how you couldn't, with how much care you take and you think through everything. I mean, with all of your experience, and I was laughing before, your experiences from diapers to diapers,
Pretty much.
not just
Pretty
cradle to
much.
the grave, but basically diapers to diapers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And with all of that, you really know, again, not only the technical and the profession, but people and who they are and what they can be and the issues that they're going to face. You've already faced them, or you know about them, so you really are preparing them. So I don't see how they could not have the highest success rate when you're the one behind them.
Well, if they bring the game, I'll hand it to them, but they got to
Right.
bring it.
Right. So with the condensed program, and you shared a few stories, but can you share a story about, without naming names, obviously,
Mhm.
a transformative moment you've witnessed in a student who went from having no healthcare experience at all to providing essential care so quickly?
Mhm. There is one young lady that comes to mind, and I'm so, so proud of this young lady. When she came to me to interview, she would never look me in the eye. She was always like this. I saw the crown a lot. And she was a victim of domestic abuse. And so she was trying to strike out on her own. Well, she didn't have support from any of her family. And she did have some mental health problems. I mean, she's been through it. And she on multiple occasions told me, I'm not smart enough for this. And so I kept asking her, did you find my school by yourself? She goes, yeah. I said, okay. Did you find your way here by yourself? She goes, yeah. I said, well, if you're smart enough to do that and you're smart enough to be sitting in front of me, how about we give it a shot? So I'm not going to tell you she had an easy time with the program. She didn't.
Right.
She struggled. She had trouble reading. She didn't read. Her reading comprehension was really bad. So we did some extra hours going over how to read and what the different words meant and how to pronounce things. And she's English speaking only. Okay. And when it came for the state exam, I mean, when I did my first skills exam on her, she literally stopped midway and just broke down crying.
Oh,
And
wow.
I stopped the test and I hugged her and I held on to her until she said she was better. Okay. She went home. Called me later that day. She's, Miss Ellen, I'm just not smart enough to be a CNA. And I said, you get your butt back here tomorrow and don't tell me that again. And so she did. It was hard. I mean, she struggled. But you know what? On the third time, she got 100% on all five skills. And they are random. So even I don't know what she's going to get.
Okay.
Okay. She got 100% on all five skills, which was
Wow.
beautiful. She then applied to the state. She needed to have accommodations because, she did have very severe anxiety. And a month ago, I get an email picture of her name on a CNA certificate.
Wow.
So she called me up and I says, well, I used to know a lady who wasn't smart enough to do this, but I'm so glad that wasn't you.
That's
And
great.
she really, again, I got as much from her as I'm hoping I poured into her. But think about it now. This is someone who used to get beat up on a regular basis, and now she's going to turn that around and show love to other people because she wants to go work in a battered women's shelter.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, wow, talk about giving back.
Yes.
But there's an old saying, and when we talk about special needs, we always say, don't judge me until you've walked a mile in my moccasins. Well, she's done 3 miles.
Right. Right. Yep. She has now the skills because you helped her, but she
Mhm.
also has the experience. So she definitely can be empathetic to where they
Yes.
are. And that's going to be, as long as it doesn't trigger her to get back to that state.
But she understands. See, this is it. And this was, and I'm glad you brought that up. She understands the triggers because she has them. So she's going to know that when you come into her presence, that there are certain things like she's not going to ever raise her voice. That's a trigger. She's not going to raise her hand like this. That's a trigger. So what's going to happen is she's going to use her life experience, add it to what I taught her, and think about all the wonderful things she's going to be able to accomplish that you and I couldn't do because we don't have those triggers. I mean, that's just the best of everything right there. So I'm very
Right.
proud of her.
Right. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing it. And that's also going to be uh, from the listeners and the watchers, they're going to hear that. And there are going to be some people in that situation.
Mhm.
And now you've given them hope and a place to go. So it's a school, and obviously you have to pay for
Mhm.
school. What are
Yes.
some of the options and help that's out there for somebody who wants to come that may not have the funds for the school?
So there's a couple of things. One is we do have a payment plan if that is something that would help them, and with some that's enough. The other thing is that I tell them, where are you working right now? Some of them are working in the kitchen or housekeeping at the skilled nursing facility. Well, if they get Medicaid, Medicaid reimbursed for this. So I tell them, go talk to your job. Ask them, will you sponsor me? And there have been some places that have. Others, what they'll tell them is, no, you go get your CNA and then we'll apply and we'll reimburse you for it. And they get receipts for everything that they pay.
Right.
So that's another option. A third option, there are places like Pikes Peak Workforce. You can go to them and you say to them, I want to go to school. And what I do is, if the people call me, I always bring these options up to them. And then I tell them, when you go to Pikes Peak or here in Pueblo Workforce, just tell them you're already talking to Ellen from the A+ Nurse Aide School. And then I help coach them so that now they will transition to those agencies and they will help fund them. So there are options, yes.
Great. And so how do they, if somebody is listening and they are interested, where do they go? And then do they talk to you and then you kind of go over these possibilities and guide them?
Absolutely. So what they can do, and I'm getting ready to pull up the phone number because I want to make sure I give it correct.
Okay.
So what they can do is they can call me anytime at 719-314-4865. That is the phone number to the office. If I'm not in the office, it will roll over to my cell phone. Okay. They can also go online and Google apply at aplusnas.com. That is our website. So they can go on there and they can put in an application there as well. Or you see my car, wave at me. I'll stop and talk to you.
Wave
I'm
and
all
stop.
around Colorado Springs all the time. Again, home health nurse. I'm on the streets more than I'm in the office.
Right. Right. So you're out there and you are obviously very approachable.
Oh, absolutely. Just come talk to me.
Right. So is there, um, for your school, you expanded, you said in Pueblo in July of 2024, I think, right?
24, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what unique healthcare workforce needs did you identify in that community that prompted the expansion, and how might they differ from the needs here in Colorado Springs?
Well, so the needs are pretty much similar in both areas. The difference was Colorado Springs, they had more options. Down here in Pueblo, it was the community college. That was it. They were the game in town. And so what was happening is students were finding out about me because through interim, where they do personal care worker, homemaker, the people here know me. And they were like, oh boy, I wish I could be a nursing assistant, and they were like, oh, here. And they'd give them my card.
Okay.
So I was gathering people from different genres. And they would actually come up to Colorado Springs to the class, but it was always putting a hardship. It's an hour drive.
Right.
So I found that we had a little classroom down here and went to the owner. He was amazing. Mr. Devon just said, okay, make it happen. I loved it. We got it put together. And ever since I've been down here, and I get a pretty steady flow of students. So I do the even months. So that would be February, April, June, all the even months. I'm in Colorado Springs. The
Okay.
odd months, January, March, May, I'm here in the Springs. Now, if you're living in Colorado Springs, but the class you want to attend is in Pueblo, come on. I don't discriminate. You can come down there just like I drive it every day. You can come drive it every day, or the
Right.
reverse. And sometimes the students will say, well, I'm only on school break on this month. Okay, you willing to come to Springs? Perfect. You willing to come to Pueblo? Perfect. Okay. I do want to expand to an evening class, but I have to have enough students regular.
Right.
And then I got to find an LPN to help me. So any LPNs out there that have teaching experience, give me a call.
Oh,
And I would love to open an evening class. So that's my next goal for the school.
okay. I love that too. So is there anything that we may have missed in our conversation that you want others to know?
So the main thing is, are you a people person? Are you looking to get something as well as give something? Are you willing to touch someone who is in a bad way? And by touch, I don't mean hands. I mean, listen to them, provide help. Just, again, maybe just hear their story, you know? You might want to check out the CNA program because it's a pretty nice way to start a career. And like I said, I've been at it now so many years, and I'm not lying when I say, guys, 3 more years and I have to retire. So somebody's got to come replace me. I can't retire until somebody's here. Okay, so come on.
I don't know. Come back. We'll be in touch through that time, and I want
Uh-huh.
to see what happens in 3 years. I have a
Very
feeling you may
good.
not retire, but maybe you can take a part-time role.
Okay, there we go. And then, but that still takes more help because
Exactly.
healthcare is not going away, guys. There is job security here.
Yep. I love it. Well, Ellen, this has been such an important conversation. And it's uniquely inspiring to know that you and A Plus Nurse Aide School are right here preparing skilled and compassionate caregivers for our community's future.
Mhm.
So now for our listeners, if you've been inspired to start your own journey in healthcare, visit A Plus NAS, which is APLUSNAS.com, to see how you can get certified in just 1 month and possible tuition assistance available. So, and to stay updated on all things Colorado Springs, including more local business spotlights like this one, subscribe to Colorado Springs Town Tidings at cos.towntidings.com. I'm Sandy Zuniga, and we'll see you next time as we continue to highlight the businesses making a difference in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.